we missed him greatly. And we still have hope, and we have so much faith that we are going to see him again in paradise, and we know we will. And so thank you, Nanny and Poppy, for giving us that heritage, and we will live out that legacy.
I just want to say some thank yous. I'm finding today very difficult to speak, even though I kind of do it for a living. Rick is the talker in our family. And the boys rehearsed their song when I wasn't there and left me out. So, I chose not to sing with them because I sing in keys far above what they've ever known. I want to thank you all for coming. There's a number of people that I'd like to thank. I'm not going to go through a whole list of every individual, but I do want to thank Wolfries for the way that, for their professionalism. I went to see them a couple weeks ago. I was down and I prearranged a whole lot of what was taking place, and I went to see them, and they've done an incredible job. I can't say enough, and I want to say thank you to them. I also want to thank you for your donations. Many of you have given donations today, and those donations will go to helping children in an orphanage that we have our eyes on. We also would like to thank the church people, the people from this congregation. Mom and Dad were part of this congregation for quite some time. And I was down visiting about a year ago, and I thought maybe I should take Dad and bring him back to Ontario, where he can get some different medical attention, and he can get some, where we can be close to him. And I stayed at their house for a week, and I could not believe the number of people that came in. I couldn't believe the number of people that just dropped in or phoned or came by with food. And I thought, I would be crazy to take him out of here. This is a place where he's surrounded by God's people who, not because it's a program, because it wasn't a program of the church. It was the genuine response of God's people to somebody who was in need. And I want to say thank you to this congregation and for the way that you've treated my mom and dad in the last little while. And I know that they probably will want to say the same thing to you, but as a son, being far away, I knew that my mom and dad were being cared for by individuals in this congregation, and I can't say enough thank you to you for that. I also want to acknowledge the cancer unit in Grand Falls, Windsor. I told my dad, I went in with him a couple times for chemo treatments, and I said, Dad, if I ever get sick, this is a place to come. These people are genuinely caring, and I just want to acknowledge that. It's always good to see familiar faces when you come to a place. And some of you I haven't seen in a long time, but the gentleman playing the piano right now is a longtime friend of mine, and he was in our church in Corner Brook, Noel George, and Noel at the last minute jumped in and played the piano for us, and I want to thank him for that. I want to thank him for doing that. The gentleman on the trumpet, Dad requested that he be here. He and I have been friends since we were 10 years old. We fought together and played together and fought some more together. And Stan Parsons has meant a lot to our family. And Dad always said, I want Stan Parsons to play at my funeral. So there you go, Dad. You got him, and he did an incredible job. Thank you, Stan, for flying down and doing that. I appreciate it. Brian Brown is also a longtime friend of our family. I've known Brian since I was a child. And when you preach your best sermons in a church and people come up to you and pat you on the back, it's a nice thing. But when you go home from church and you've preached a sermon with your parents there, and you're hoping that they'll say, you know what, you did a wonderful job. My parents always did that. But always somewhere in the conversation they would say, you should hear that Brian Brown preach. And I remember coming home from a funeral, and I said, how was the funeral? Oh, the funeral was good. You should hear Brian Brown do a funeral. Boy, can he ever? And I thought, if something happens, Brian Brown's going to be the man. And I want to thank you, Brian. I know You have a lot of friends in this congregation, but you're also a very loyal friend and a good friend of our family. We appreciate that. I want to thank our friends and family for being here. Some of you family members I haven't seen in quite a while, and I want to thank all of you friends. I particularly, and my siblings, my brothers and sisters will understand this. I want to thank Donna and Randy for the last couple of months. They opened up their home, and we came and went as we pleased. We stayed there. They moved a hospital bed in there, and that's not an easy thing for a family to give up their home like that. And I want to thank them and for the way they ministered the love of Christ in that very, very practical way. And finally, I want to thank my mom. The caregiver in a situation like that, even though Mom is a professional caregiver because she cared for all of us as children, plus she's a nurse. But she went above and beyond the call of duty. And in a world where there are throwaway relationships, when you look and see somebody who puts that kind of effort into caring for their spouse, their dying spouse, on behalf of the rest of our family, Mom, you've done an incredible job. And I want to acknowledge that, and it's okay to clap in church. Mom and Dad met when they were in kindergarten, and very few of us have, 65-year-old relationships. Mom and Dad met in kindergarten, and he decided she was the one he was going to walk home, and he walked her home over and over and over, many days, and has been doing so for years. And this last month, 2 months, 5 years, she's returned the favor. She has taken him by the hand, and she walked him home. And today, he's in the presence of God, knowing that knowing that he was able to bring children into this world that loved and served God and made mistakes and then got up and loved and served God again, and a wife that loved him, and to me that's success. God bless you. Thank you for being here.